She caught her husband cheating. This was how she revenged. Said had been married to her high school sweetheart, Tunde, for 5 years, and to outsiders, their marriage seemed perfect. They had built a beautiful life together, filled with love and comfort. But behind the facade of their picture-perfect marriage, cracks were beginning to form. Little did anyone know, Tunda had been cheating on Saad for months, and the evidence was about to surface in a way that would change their lives forever. I remember the day Said found out like it was yesterday. She had been feeling uneasy about Tunda's constant late nights and sudden business trips for weeks. The warmth that once filled their marriage was fading, replaced by an unsettling distance. Said would often sit in their beautifully decorated living room, her mind swirling with questions and doubts, as the hours stretched on without Tunde's presence. The man she had trusted seemed like a stranger, and the loving connection they once shared was slipping away. One evening, while looking through their shared closet, Said found an unfamiliar perfume on one of Tunda's jackets. Her heart sank as she realized the scent was not hers. She decided to investigate further, her suspicions now on high alert. Said, though shaken, remained composed. This was not the time to confront him just yet. One night, while Tunde was in the shower, Saad's suspicions were confirmed. His phone lit up with a message from an unknown number, and the words were clear. "I can't wait to see you tonight." In that moment, the betrayal hit her like a crashing wave. Her heart raced as she read the message, but instead of breaking down, a cold determination took over. Saida knew she had to take control of the situation. She was not a woman to be easily played. The days that followed were a blur of tears, anger, and confusion. Saada couldn't eat, she couldn't sleep, and she couldn't focus on anything other than the crushing weight of Tunde's betrayal. The man she had loved, trusted, and built a life with had shattered her world with a few careless words. It was as if her entire identity had been broken into a million pieces. But even through the haze of pain, Sadi's mind began to formulate a plan. She would wait, she would watch, and when the time was right, she would strike. At first, Sadie thought about confronting Tunda, the urge to scream at him, to demand answers, and to show him the pain he had caused was almost overwhelming. But she realized that confronting him too soon would only give him the satisfaction of seeing her hurt and vulnerable. Instead, she decided to take matters into her own hands. She would not be a victim. She would take control of her destiny. With a newfound sense of resolve, Said began to carefully plan her revenge. Said started her revenge in silence. She smiled, she cooked, she acted as though nothing had changed. Tunda had no idea that behind her calm demeanor, Said was gathering information. She collected receipts, messages, and other evidence of his infidelity. Every detail was documented, and every smile she gave him was a silent promise that soon the truth would come to light. As she played her role as the devoted wife, Saida's emotions remained a whirlwind beneath the surface. Each time she saw Tunda, her heart ached with the knowledge of his betrayal, but she stayed composed, biding her time. Her plan wasn't about mere confrontation. It was about showing him the depths of the hurt he had caused, without ever raising her voice or shedding a tear in front of him. As the weeks passed, Said's plan solidified. She realized that her revenge wasn't about hurting Tunde as much as it was about reclaiming her power. She would expose his betrayal, but not in a moment of anger. It would be a calculated public revelation that left him with no room to hide. Said had spent enough time suffering in silence. It was time to take back control. Said decided to create the perfect moment for her revelation. She planned a dinner party at their home, inviting both their families and close friends. Tunde was delighted, completely oblivious to what was about to unfold. The house was beautifully decorated, the table adorned with flowers and fine wine. As the guests arrived, Sadeh played the role of the charming hostess, smiling and laughing as though nothing was wrong. But in her heart, she knew the night would end with the truth exposed. As dinner was served, Said remained calm, almost serene. She watched Tunda as he laughed with their friends and family, unaware of the storm brewing. Every moment was carefully timed in her mind. She made sure to keep her composure, never letting on that her heart was racing with anticipation. The betrayal still cut deep, but her need for closure fueled her resolve. Tonight the truth would come out, and Tunda would finally face the consequences of his actions. Halfway through the dinner, when the conversation was at its peak, Said stood up. The room grew quiet as all eyes turned to her. She smiled at Tunda, then began to speak. Calmly and with measured words, she revealed everything. The secret messages, the late nights, the business trips. Tunda's face went pale as she laid out the evidence of his betrayal in front of their family and friends. The room fell into shocked silence, and Tunda was left speechless, caught off guard and humiliated. Tunda tried to speak, to explain himself, but the words wouldn't come. His mind raced as the weight of what Sada had done hit him. He realized too late that he had underestimated her. In front of everyone, he dropped to his knees, pleading for forgiveness, tears welling in his eyes. He tried to reach for Said, but she stepped back, her expression cold and unyielding. The man who had been so confident and careless was now reduced to begging, his dignity shattered. In that moment, Said felt a wave of strength surge through her. She had taken back the power that Tunda had tried to steal from her. Her heart no longer ached with betrayal. Instead, it was filled with the realization that she was stronger than she ever knew. She looked down at Tunda, no longer feeling the pain of his actions. Her calm composure was a reflection of the control she now had over the situation. She had won, but not out of vengeance, out of self-respect. The days that followed were filled with whispers and rumors. Everyone in their social circle was talking about what had happened that night. Tunde's reputation was in tatters, and he found himself isolated. Said, on the other hand, had reclaimed her dignity and moved forward. People admired her for the way she had handled the situation. She had not only exposed the truth, but had done so with grace and poise, earning the respect of those around her. Said started a new chapter in her life. She focused on her work, her friends, and her passions. The pain of Tunde's betrayal was now a distant memory. With her newfound independence, Said began to rediscover herself. She surrounded herself with people who uplifted her and began exploring new opportunities. The road ahead was hers to walk, and she was ready to embrace every moment of it. One evening, Said sat alone in her beautiful home, reflecting on everything that had happened. The woman she was when she first found out about Tunde's betrayal felt like a distant version of herself. She had grown, transformed by the experience, and emerged stronger. As she looked out at the night sky, she smiled, realizing that this was the beginning of her true journey. Her happiness was no longer tied to anyone else's actions. It was hers to create. Said's story became an inspiration to many. People admired her for her strength, intelligence, and poise in handling such a painful situation. She had shown that no matter how much someone tries to tear you down, you can rise above it with dignity. In the end, Said's victory wasn't just about exposing Tunda. It was about reclaiming her power and finding peace within herself. And with that peace came the ultimate revenge, living her best life without him. And that's the story of how one African wife got her clever revenge on her cheating husband. What do you think, guys? Would you have done the same in Said's shoes? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget, like, subscribe, and to check out my other videos for more juicy stories and animated explainers. Thanks for watching.